Trains and does all his strongman work in Great Britain. He's really turned in some good performances here. He's shown a lot of skill, he's shown a lot of ambition, and as he's showing here, a lot of aggression. This is fantastic stuff. Well, he's going to get through to that fourth stone, which is the furthest anyone's gone, in a pretty quick time. Up it goes in 23.90. So he's the leader by some 20 seconds if he can't finish this last one. And Mark Felix is getting a bit frustrated. He's just shouted and shouted to try and get some extra effort into those muscles, but this is a hell of a weight to try and lift, and it's just going to prove to be beyond him. But he needn't worry, he's very handily placed for the points now. Good effort, pure drama from Mark Felix. Well, you've got to admire this guy. He's going to have another go. Just about got some time here. But I think Mark Felix is done and dusted. I can't see this one going up on the platform. It's off the ground, but he can't get it there. He's timed out. Good run from him. 23.90. He's the new leader.
The surface is a bit uneven. So every time I try to get my step in, it's leaning, my foot leaning off. So I get off balance a bit. You know, but it's there to lift, you know. It's a good stone.
Well, you heard it's a good stone. I'm not sure that's how all the competitors will describe it, but Mark Felix deciding that final stone was an adequate adversary. But as you heard, he said it's an uneven surface, and even if you have a grip on it, you can't keep your balance. Stoyan Todorcev throws up the 100k stone like it's a volleyball. He's chucked the next one as well, so 140 is the next lift, and he's made it look easy. And I think the crowd's sensing that this is someone that might just be able to do it. Now remember, 23.90 to beat, he's already passed that, so Mark Felix still in the lead if it stops here. 26.11 for Todorcev. So he's handily placed at the moment, but if he can get this last stone up, and he's got lots of time to do it, nearly 45 seconds, well, that is ticking away now, and he is, I think, best served to take his time. And no, I think the back causing him problems, and Todorcev has had to pull out before taking a lift. Well, he was flying and making it look so easy, but maybe he just tweaked his back on the 160k stone. Well, the crowd fascinated with this one, as indeed are the athletes, and we're all wondering whether anyone can lift the final stone. 193k. Venter going well in the event overall. He's the leader. Good point scores over the first three, and we know he's going to get a good point score here. The advantage for Venter is that once he gets the stone airborne, it's not that far for him to stand up and pop it onto the podium, such as his height at 2 meters tall. The 6'6", 6'7" mark. No, he's just caught his hand there, and I think if he's torn the finger, he may not be able to carry on. He's just having a quick inspection. Hopefully it's just superficial damage. Very often it's blisters that tear, and it's a little deeper than it is. But he's going to have to be safe. Yeah, Sebastian Venter calls it a day. But a good run from him. 29.77 seconds. So Felix is the man, and he can't resist. Just one little go at the big stone. The stones are quite, well, they're quite hard to lift, if you don't say, Sebastian. But as he says, it's all good. Enjoyed it. Well, if Venter thinks something's hard to lift, you know exactly what the story is. It's worse than that, and that's where he caught his finger, just as he flicked the stone up. So Felix takes the 12 points, Todorcev the 11, Katten a 10, and Venter's down in 4th. To the medley. Each week the medley is different, and the athletes and the crowds all enjoy the variety. The fifth discipline is going to be a tester. Sometimes the medley left to last, and I know a lot of the competitors do find that very difficult indeed. There's a fatigue element involved. So the first two competitors are up. Tommy Karlsson of Sweden up against Agris Kazelniks, the man with all the chalk on his hands from Latvia. So the tyre flip 3 times over with the 360k tyre. No ordinary tyre, as you can see. And then followed by the duck walk. The duck walk, a lot tougher than it looks. So the tyre flip 3 times over, and it's no ordinary tyre. 360 kilograms, and look at that. Kazelniks has gone off like a rocket, and he's flying now on the duck walk. 175k suspended between the legs, and he's finished like a sprinter. And that Latvian bobsleigh team that does so well in the World Cup are going to be looking at Kazelniks as a brakeman. Oh dear, and a bad injury to the knee of Karlsson. He's tweaked something very badly there. And that could be a cruciate ligament. Let's hope it's nothing too serious for the big man from Sweden. But he just stumbled awkwardly as the weight came down. He tried to get his leg out of the way. And as he jammed his leg onto the tarmac, something, I'm afraid, went snap. Excellent medical attention given immediately to Tommy Karlsson. The paramedic in to try and find out whether it was inside or outside of the knee, medial or lateral. And I'm afraid Tommy Karlsson will play no further part in this Moscow event. Well, tremendous disappointment, but quite a bad knee injury for the Swede. Well, we get this from time to time, just a little reminder of how dangerous some of these events are. Strictly as a don't try this at home situation. Mikhail Sidorichev of Russia up against compatriot Alexei Serebzhakov. They will have seen what happened to Karlsson. They're both going at this quite steadily. Sidorichev looks like he's going to be first over to the 3. He thinks he's got to do 4, he forgot. And Serebzhakov gets a steal on him there, and he drops the weight. So Sidorichev with a chance, but Serebzhakov gets it up again. Dropped the weight around about the same area as Tommy Karlsson did. And he just about sneaks over the line. Sidorichev disappointed at missing out. 27.19 his time, 24.59 for Serebzhakov, but Kazelniks 22.43, still the fastest by some way, despite the efforts of the two big Russians. Next up then, Igor Pedan, who looks to be just suffering a little in the heat in his own country. Pedan so popular with the Moscow fans. He's going up against Maksuka Vyacheslav. So once again, two Russians going head to head. So the tyre is pushed over, then the 3 flips start. Sidorichev should have been reminded by someone. Pedan looking good, and away he goes. Nice and smooth for him. Now he's got the height to make the duck walk look a little easier. Time by Kazelniks, 22.43 to be beaten. It's going to be very tight. Pedan's going to get close, as indeed is Maksuka. And 22.03, beaten it by 4/10. Well, probably very fast. I'll have to see how fast the other guys go, and I hope I win. Well, he hopes he wins because he needs a win desperately. And Igor Pedan has a great opportunity to get things underway. Look at the implements that the helpers have to employ to move these enormous weights. I'll really just show you just how strong these guys are, and they're doing it all at full flight. Everything done at the sprint and these medleys. Kirilo Shuprinin then for the Ukraine up against Jeff Dolan, the Canadian. Dolan, we know, is very fast. Does he have the strength to cope with the duck walk and the tight flip? Well, his speed between everything is brilliant. Shuprinin, though, has the power and the height to put him under pressure. Over goes Shuprinin's 3rd flip, and away he goes to the duck walk. Jeff Dolan just looked up briefly there to see his competitor moving away from him, and it nearly cost him a flip. And not only is Shupranin going to beat Dolan, he's going to get the fastest time. Yes, indeed, 21.